Everyone. I really appreciate y'all hopping on. I'm Danny McCarthy. I'm the Director of Sales for Pricebook. I've got Summer Farron with me, who is our marketing manager. And again, we've got a couple of our power user customers on today that I'm going to introduce in just a moment here. Quick agenda for y'all today. We're again going to start by doing these introductions in just a minute. I'll do a very quick demo of PricebookPlus. If you haven't seen it before, I'm going to do just like a whirlwind 5-minute demo just to give you all a sense for what we're talking about here. And then we're going to transition to the bulk of our time here, which will be the roundtable discussion with Jen and Lindsay. Let me circle back and start with introductions. I've got Jen from Genergy, a longtime user. Jen, would you just take 30 seconds or so and talk about your business and introduce yourself?
Got it. Well, hello guys. I am Genergy. I own an air conditioning company in Pinellas County, Florida. I've been in business for 10 years, and I am the contractor and sole owner as of now. I guess 3 years ago, and I've been using Pricebook since 2021.
Awesome. Thanks, Jim. Appreciate it. And Lindsay Hudgens.
Yeah.
Joey from Max
Hey
Service.
everyone. Yeah. I'm Lindsay Hudgens with Max Service Group. Joey Turnbloom. Max Service Group is located in the Midwest, and we operate under 4 different brands. We have 5 different locations here in the Midwest and Kentucky area.
Perfect. Thanks, Lindsay. Appreciate you being here. And just so y'all know, we had one more contractor who had an emergency this morning and won't be able to make it. So we're going to have a great discussion with Jen and Lindsay here shortly. Couple housekeeping items. We've got everybody muted today. If y'all have questions, please use the Q&A functionality. You should see that at the bottom of the Zoom controls there. Again, we'll be together here for about 45 minutes. And please reach out to us if y'all have any questions afterwards. We'll show you how to do that, but we'll also be sending out a recording of the presentation today. Okay, so again, going to start with a quick demo of PricebookPlus just to give anybody who hasn't seen it some context as to what we're talking about here. What we offer at Pricebook is kind of our flagship product here, PricebookPlus. This is sales presentation software for residential changeouts. It allows dealers to put best, better, good sales presentations in front of homeowners very quickly. And what we do, what kind of makes us different from all of our competitors, is in-depth data management. We build out price books to that dealer specifications, and we maintain the data over time. And I'm going to show you what that looks like here in just a minute. But it allows salespeople like Joey to quickly put best, better, good presentations in front of homeowners fast, right? On a tablet, a laptop, sell right at the kitchen table, leave that presentation with them if they need it. So just to give you all a sense for what that looks like, on the left here, I've got kind of the classic written proposal that's still widely used in the industry, right? Hard to read, time consuming to write out. Who knows where that retail pricing came from, right? Versus what we can do with Pricebook, presentation you can create in about 60 seconds right here on the right. Best, better, good presentation. You've got pictures of the equipment. It's clean, it's consistent. Retail pricing's dialed in. Okay, so to show you like a live demo of what this looks like, I briefly want to again go through that. What y'all are seeing on my screen, this is an example of a presentation you can create with Pricebook. Again, you can see the best, better, good. Retail pricing and financing options are below. I can provide multiple presentations to that homeowner. If they've got multiple systems in the house, you can see this is for a 2-ton system. You can do a mini split, right? We've got different offerings there. You can email this presentation to the homeowner. They can enter a sales agreement with you directly from here, right? And again, what kind of makes this work is this data management that we are proposing to do for dealers. Specifically, we would build out a price book, right? Would look something like this. You can see some brand offerings up top: Goodman, mini splits, water heaters, generators. And down below, you can see these specific equipment types. This would be custom to the dealer, to their market, that they offer. Within a given system type, like the split heat pump here, you can see all the residential tonnages here, and then a number of options that they can offer homeowners. These are all AHRI matchups. The dealer would tell us directly, this is what I offer, this is what I want built out. This is stuff that I can get from my distributor, and that's what we build out for them. And over time, we maintain this data. So as we go through these major industry shifts, like the refrigerant changes last year, or SEER to SEER 2 a couple years ago, our team is making those adjustments for you, the dealer, on your end, right? We're doing that heavy lifting for you, so you don't have to worry about it. That's kind of one of the main components there. We're also keeping your costs up to date, right? Your equipment costs. We've got over 200 distributors that we connect with for immediate price updates. If you've ever seen those catalogs from your distributor, Pricebook catalog, that's the product I'm talking about. But even if your distributor is not connected with us, we're still going to keep your costs up to date, right? So you can kind of get a sense for what that looks like here. Here's cost, and then there's retail price with your margins and so forth built in. And that's kind of bringing me to another point. You have control of retail pricing in this system, right? You can set your margins, your installation packages, financing fees, something that a lot of guys forget about, charging financing fees to cover them on credit card processing and dealer fees from finance plans. We're putting all your finance plans in this system. We can put any plans that you work with in this system, so you can offer those to homeowners, rebates, and we give you training on all this stuff. That's all included in our setup. Okay, so again, we build this price book. We maintain the data over time, and you're in control of retail pricing. And what that means for a salesperson like Joey, when he needs to put a presentation in front of a homeowner, he can quickly do that, right? Let's say I want to provide a presentation to Bob Smith here. I'm going to go into that presentation. I can access my pre-configured price book, choose the system type and tonnage, let's say a 3-ton split heat pump offering, and then I'll see all those matchup options that I told the price book team, this is what I offer. I choose which of these options I want to show. I can choose that right here, hit my show site button, and provide a basic presentation in 30 seconds here. And I can customize this thing up and down. I can add in financing, rebates, indoor air quality, additional services, and so forth, right? Okay. So that's what this program's all about. That wraps up the super fast demo portion. I've got a team of sales reps that can give a long form demo if y'all need it. If you want that, we'll talk about how to do that at the end of the presentation. But I want to shift gears here and start talking to our guests. Again, really appreciate y'all being here. Jen, I'd love to start with you. And if you could just kind of tell me about what your sales process was like before Pricebook, how long was it taking you to create proposals? And then, I think you implemented back in like 2021, 22, if you can talk about, what that transition looked like and what that did for your business.
Got it. So when I started using Pricebook Digital, my company was, I want to say 6 years old. And, in the beginning, you guys all write prices down on a piece of paper and give it to the customer. And then we transitioned to using Jobber, which was a pretty basic but effective like CRM to manage our invoicing, our scheduling, and things like that. And Jobber finally came up with a proposal tool. But I was going into Jobber and typing and writing a description for every single piece of equipment and then emailing it to the customer instead of like being able to be at the table and do a proposal. So, and that was effective. People felt like there wasn't a lot of pressure and stuff, but it wasn't like professional. And then I'm an American Standard customer care dealer, and they urged me when I signed up to take on Pricebook, and so I did. And it made it so much easier. First of all, because I hate math. I do not like math. Percentages and markups and remembering what things cost is like, it's too much when you're doing all the things to run an AC company. And when I figured out that I could have the math built in, the financing factors built in, and be able to give customers a Vanna White style presentation at the kitchen table, it made so much sense to me. So I started it, I learned it, and I actually learned a lot more about my equipment as well from it. and it really improved my closing percentage, and it just gave me like an edge over the competition. Like I go in behind like three guys, and then on the kitchen table were pieces of yellow legal paper with prices written on it, or these old style invoices, and here I am at the tabletop with the laptop, and it gives the customer an impression that yeah, you have your stuff together, if you know what I mean, and you know what you're doing, and you're a professional company. So it really turned my company around. And I think we've like doubled and then tripled our income since using Pricebook. And even though I'm in Service Titan, I won't use their sales presentation because I just think Pricebook is so much prettier. I like things that are pretty.
Right. So set you aside from the competition.
Absolutely.
Easy to use. Again, easier than a Service Titan as an example. Prettier.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
It's
Awesome.
also a good teaching tool because when you turn the computer around and you point at the different styles of fan motors and compressor speeds and the different cabinet styles. And what I love about it too is if you come to a job and the air handler is in a really small closet or a really tight attic, you can click on the model number and see how wide your cabinet and how tall your cabinet is to see if it's going to be able to fit or not. And then you can modify it and give them other options if it won't.
Yeah, awesome. So thanks, Jen. Lindsay, kind of same question for you. Y'all have multiple businesses, a Mac service group, and I'm just kind of curious, like, what the process looked like before, and when you implemented Pricebook, what it looked like after.
Do you want to talk about the process before?
I can. Yeah. So our process before it was, we weren't writing on pieces of paper. We had a kind of a canned Microsoft document that we would type and you'd modify, and it looked professional, but you could do one option essentially. If you want to do multiple, you're sitting there for an hour, 2 hours. I mean, it would drag on. A lot of times we printed that. If you wanted to email, you had to put in a PDF, and people couldn't figure out PDF. So it was pretty clunky. I mean, switching over to PricebookPlus, especially with the buyer that wants options, you don't have that buyer that'll take a single option. They want to look at three different options and all the different things. That definitely sped things along, and made it more customizable for sure.
Yeah.
And if there was any changes that were made after Joey or any of our other team members left the home in the past, I don't even know how you all did it. I think that it was there at times were communication gaps and things would get forgotten on execution, or they'd have to go back out there. But with Pricebook, we call it PB Plus in our business. Peanut butter PB Plus. With the introduction of PB Plus, they were able to make modifications and just tell the homeowner to refresh on their end.
Yeah, or if they wanted, they decided after they purchased, they call me an hour later, I really wanted that higher end option. I can go and cancel and they can reaccept it, which is fantastic. Or they want to add a humidifier all of a sudden. Those are quick, easy changes now.
Quick, easy add-ons.
Yeah, and something else that we didn't have too with the old method were signatures. So yeah, Joey would leave the home and the homeowner would call him back, much later, and then either he would have to go back out there or we would have a verbal, which we don't like to have that. We like to have signatures. So this just, oh my gosh, the amount of signatures that we have compared to what we used to.
It's a lot better.
For me though, and I have history with Pricebook Digital. Through a previous role that I had in the industry, I knew of the software, but I took this job and I had to do my first price increase with our the old way of doing things, which was I'll have to grab it. I have a couple of them with me. It was a book, a display book that the team would use to review prices with the homeowner and sell from there. And I had to do my first update, and it was literally like, I don't know how many different packages. And I would have to go through each page of the price book for each tonnage. And it was just so much work. And I was like, this is ridiculous. Such a waste of my time. I'm not doing this again. There were better ways to do this. And I had a boss at the time that was like, sure, go ahead, let's do it. And
with that book too, by the time you did all the editing and then had them printed, a lot of times the pricing wasn't even accurate. Things had changed, especially during the COVID period there. It was changing rapidly. We're introducing Pricebook. We would have that instantaneous price change, and we were no longer losing money on the job.
Yeah, it's quick. Like I can have it uploaded and within seconds it's updated. It's really quick.
Yeah. You actually kind of answered my next question, was really about kind of the data management, right? Having a third party like us update matchups for me. Jen, would love to hear from you on that, just like how that's made life easier for you, having your matchups updated for you, working with a team like ours to do that for you.
Yeah, so it's all done automatically, and you guys know there's price increases like I don't know every year, maybe every 6 months, depending on the government situation. And I can go in and look at my price books and see when it's been updated last. They'll have the date on there to show me how recent my price book is, and it's all done automatically. So I just have to go in and check to see if it's been done, and if it hasn't been done, it's because your TM didn't email them their updated prices. To make a phone call to your team at TM and they get it in there right away. And all you have to do is tell your customers we had a price increase and there's no additional work for you whatsoever. It's really nice.
Right. Yeah. Your margins and everything is going on top of those equipment costs.
Yep.
Right. Right.
Automatically, everything changes.
Yeah. Yeah. Jen, if it's not that, then can you tell us like what your favorite time saving feature is? Pricebook.
Oh, wow. Huh. I think, oh, well, now it integrates with Service Titan. So all of you guys that are watching that have Service Titan, get the integration because as soon as they create a job in Service Titan, it automatically implements into Pricebook. So when you go into Pricebook to create your proposal, all the customer's information is already in there. And then as soon as the customer clicks accept, it goes over back to Service Titan as a sold job, and then you have to click the button to schedule it, and that's it. It's so much easier. So I used to do Pricebook separate, and then go into Service Titan, create an estimate. Once they accepted it, create the proposal, then click accept after they've accepted it, and it was a whole like giant time waster. And now it's all done automatically. That's one of my favorite things.
Awesome. Yeah, great point. Yeah, we do integrate with Service Titan and House Call Pro, and they talk to those softwares on the front and back end. As far as the Service Titan integration is concerned, Lindsay's team has given us a lot of feedback on how to structure that. So thanks to you on that one, Lindsay. And same question to you, Lindsay. I mean, what's your favorite time saving feature there in Pricebook?
Oh my goodness. There's so many. So the top of mind, I was thinking about it a few seconds ago. We've created lots of packages for our team. I have 30 comfort consultants in all of our different markets. And so I guess in the past, they'd be hitting me up. I need a price for this, like a PTAC, or I need a price for that, a through the wall unit, for an apartment complex, just like super random, unique situations. And we've been able to create a bunch of different packages for these one-off situations for our team members, and it's taken the burden off of me and the other sales managers, and also our engineering team. They're not having to go and get pricing from our distributors and help the team member work up pricing for their customer. We've been able to, I don't know how many, we have so many. It saves our team member time in the field too. They're able to present that pricing right away while they're in the home with the homeowner. And just, have that face-to-face time. What about for you?
Yeah, I mean, one of my favorite in the field is when this year's not it's not been as big of a deal, but especially when we were trying to hit federal tax credits, things like that, the ability to jump in there to system selector, you know, change furnace sizes, coils, whatever we need to do, and then have an AHRI matchup right there. It gives me peace of mind knowing, hey, I'm going to tell this person they're getting $2,000 federal tax credit, and we're covering ourselves. We know what's going to happen. Where in the past we didn't have that. I'd promise it to it, and then I'd hope engineering can make it all work and fit in. So that was, I think, a really nice option. And then, as Jen had mentioned, the not having to do the math is fantastic. You just punch in your discount in there if you want to share it across all the different ones you're offering or whatever you're doing. It calculates it, bam, it's there. You're done. You present it, and it just makes things very smooth.
For sure. For sure. You mentioned our functionality system selector, which is a good point. We're building out these pre-configured price books like I showed earlier, but you also get access to any equipment you can get from your distributors, right? So you can trade equipment in and out. We've got a feature that helps you find other AHRI matchups in the system. So we've got a lot of functionality built around that. Lindsay and Joey, kind of curious what your experience has been in terms of like reducing the back and forth between the office and the field and that communication. Has it kind of streamlined your process when you're out there selling in the field?
Yeah, I mean, as Lindsay mentioned, we did build out a lot of different packages on kind of that oddity equipment. That helped a lot. I do feel with the way we have a lot of canned services in there too, that our engineering team knows right away this is what we want to do with it. So that helps a lot with, we're going to do this and this. They know, hey, I don't need to call them and ask them a million questions. So yeah, I do think it's definitely streamlined it there. I mean, there's very seldom that we have to get the office involved with invoices, and that's normally some type of, paying utility rebate that just wants something different than what we normally create or something. So yeah, it's really brought that to a minimum.
For sure.
The work orders. So it's the work orders.
Yeah.
So Joey's referred to our engineering team a couple of times. Our engineering team are the team in the background that process the job. So they're taking what Joey sells out in the field, looking at his pictures and his measurements and everything, making sure what Joey sold is right.
Make sure
And ordering the equipment and just really like preparing everything for day of install. We've built out that team. It was, I think, one or two members. Now we have four. And so it's really funny. They've become dependent on that work order. So because we built out our packages, like what you showed on the demo, it's based on our guidelines that we've told the build out team, these are the type of coils that we like with these type of air conditioners. These are the sizes we like to use with the certain tonnages. We've customized it to the way that we like to do business and operate. And our engineering team, instead of they use their brain less. So before, the one or two guys, they knew it by heart, how we operated. It was just tribal knowledge. The new engineering team they're dependent on that work order. And I guess it's good because it's the same thing over and over and over again, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
And that's how you grow your business. You're not having to think about it as much. You're able to scale up where you can.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's
with
for
things
sure.
like that.
With the work order too. Like if it's on the work order, it's getting it. I mean, that's the nice thing. I know if it's there, I'm not gonna have to worry about something being missed. Where in the past, again with those older style contracts, they can read through it and miss it very easily because there was so much wordage in it. So definitely streamlines that side.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, for what they're talking about here, when you sell a job, a work order is automatically created with all the details of the job, full model numbers. A lot of guys use that as a purchase order. It's just a really nice document for internal use. Yeah, Jen, for you, kind of switching gears a little bit, can you tell me about how you've utilized rebates and financing built in, and how that's changed the homeowner conversation? What's that experience been like for you?
So I always offer financing on every job because I find that half the people pick me because I have really great financing options thanks to Wells Fargo. But I can go in and I can scale my financing options to increase a higher ticket. So say for a 14 SEER, I may only offer the customer 24 months of a 0% APR, and if they wanted a 16 SEER, I'd up it to 36. But if they want an 18 SEER, it could be 60 months at 0% APR. And people really only look at the monthly payment. Most people do. People that have money usually look at the total amount, but people are looking at the monthly payment, and they look and they see that they can get an 18 SEER variable speed system for almost the same price as a 16 SEER monthly. They pick that, so it's increased my average ticket. But I also took a class through American Standard that taught me how to pick like 1% and add it to every single job so that the customers, because I was going in and adding like the 60% is 60 months is 0% APR, and it would add the math at the end and like what I pay my financed rate at the end.
Sure.
And it was so much more expensive. So I took this class and learned that if you just figure out the average amount of people that finance, there is some math, and you guys know I don't like math. So it turned out to be like 8.6% that I add automatically to every job across the board. And even if people don't finance, it's still in there. So it averaged out to really help me close more sales and sell a lot more higher SEER systems to increase my average ticket. It makes it so much easier.
Yeah. So yeah, what Jen's referring to, right? One, offering tiered financing, higher term financing on more expensive options, lower term on less expensive options. You make the monthly payments look all about the same across the board, and it draws that homeowner towards the higher SEER range, right? Because they can show them how that's affordable. And then the other thing that you just brought up, offering or building blended financing rate in to your retail pricing versus having that variable, where if you have, a 0 for 60 with a 15% financing fee kind of baking that in. We've got the option for both. We offer flexibility, but yeah, very great point there. Lindsay, same thing for y'all, Lindsay and Joey, like offering financing, offering rebates. What's your experience been like with that in Pricebook?
Yeah, I mean, so the financing's been fantastic. Obviously, it shows it on every single unit. So yeah, you can either tier it up, as you go higher in, you can get better financing, or you get that client that they're stuck on 0 for 36 or 60 or whatever it may be, and they may not want high end, but that's how you got to close the job. You can show it. Rebates, yes, very simple. I mean, you literally just like a discount, you go in there and toggle it on. If you have multiple 97% furnace, I can share it across those different options. But yeah, the financing is very nice, and you can just, like I said, go in. I can change what options I'm offering. You get to that client that, no, I always write a check. Well, maybe I'll offer them 0% for 12 months. Maybe that'll make them bite, right? They have the money, but they can keep that money in their accounts. That can be a big thing too. So it gives you a lot of flexibility.
I'll speak to the utility rebate part from a manager perspective, because when I first started with the company, there was a lot of team members that would commit to utility rebates and then come to find out the homeowner didn't qualify, or maybe the matchup didn't even hit the rebate that is required. And so what would happen is, because we made this commitment, we would end up
Write the check.
cutting checks. So with Pricebook, it's there plain as day. The AHRI ratings, the SEER, the EER,
HSPF too.
HSPF, like the 3 or 4 of them that are required for each of for the qualifications. It's there plain as day. I've got a little cheat sheet. Hey, comfort consultant, this is what is required to hit these different. Actually, I went a step further. I put it in the description of the utility rebate so they can see it, and then they can look up a little higher and be like, okay, that one qualifies. So I tried to make it as simple as possible. And then we do not cut checks anymore.
It's very rare.
Yeah, and it's on there. It's not missed. We have someone who processes those. She's looking at the contracts, and she's the one going in and processing them for our homeowners. So yeah, that's been huge for us in our business.
And the cheat sheet, with her doing the cheat sheet, it doesn't make it nice, because I can literally, I'm looking going, okay, yeah, this one's 15.2. Okay, that's what it requires. Yeah, we can get $300 here. I don't have to go looking on websites. I don't have to go digging through stuff. I can get the add button and move on. Yeah, streamlines it.
Yeah. Data's at your fingertips for sure.
Yep.
Yeah. Quick reminder here for anybody that's got questions, please just drop those in the Q&A at the bottom of the Zoom controls there, and we'll get to those in just a minute. Lindsay, for y'all, I'll start with you, Lindsay. Have you seen changes in your close rate?
Do you feel like
I don't think I don't think I have personally. I don't know if we've seen any other members.
So I've been asked that a couple of times. It wasn't anything, because we've got some really great sales team members, right? So it doesn't matter how they were showing it. It was about how they operate in the field with the homeowner.
Just kind of making it easier for them. Yeah.
But this tool has made it so much easier in so many different levels, and it may be a mindset thing too for comfort consultants. I can only imagine, Joey, that it was incredibly exhausting too.
Yes.
And I've been there before we launched it in other markets. I sat with one of my guys, and it took him probably 30 minutes to sit there and type it up. This lady wanted multiple options.
Right.
Type it up, wait on it. We had printers. The printers would work
never
half the time.
Yeah. Yep.
I think, more than anything like this, the peace of mind for our comfort consultants, that helped. Just to being more efficient in so many different ways.
Efficiency for you get a 3-4 system home, how quick you can put together options it's night and day, where before it'd be like, I'm gonna have to email this to you, and I'm sitting at home for 2 hours typing. Now I can literally do it while I'm at their home. Give me 10 minutes, I'll have everything ready for you, and we can go through all 4 different systems if you want.
Yeah, it's complete change in just ease of use.
And the quality. I mean, I've had tons of clients like, this is great. I can see everything side by side. This is exactly what we want. Because if you look at a lot of competitor bids around here, you don't see that. It's very clunky. It may be on Service Titan's hard software. It just doesn't give you that side by side comparison, especially when you have that person that's really unsure on where they want to go.
Right, right. Jen, how about for you? What did you see in your closing rate? You're muted, by the way.
Nope.
Oh, Jen, you're muted. Sorry.
You know, I'm excited you called my name. I've been using it for a very long time, so I really can't like speak to that. But since I added the financing options to it, I've closed a lot more sales. And since I've been scaling my financing and actually able to show the customer what their payments will be, and they figure out in their budget what they can afford, I've been closing at the table a lot more. Been lots of follow-ups.
Yep, got it. So just that offering financing helped you with your yeah,
Absolutely.
got it. Jen, for you, what feedback do you get from homeowners about your presentations?
They like being educated. Like they get told a lot about what they need, and they don't know what's out there. And so when I sit with them and I explain how a variable speed compressor works and what a variable speed air handler motor is going to do for them, a blower motor, they're just like, oh my gosh, thank you. They get all excited about learning about air conditioning. What was the question again? They get all excited. I'm drinking coffee.
Yeah, no worries. Feedback that you get from homeowners about the presentation.
Yeah, and then it was a much more professional presentation than my competition.
Yep.
And get a lot of feedback like that, and they like seeing the equipment and the pictures, and then the model numbers as well.
Yeah, awesome. Lindsay and Joey, what would you say to a dealer who's still, using spreadsheets, handwritten proposals? What would your advice be, just given the context of what we're talking about here?
Well, with regards to price increases and managing that with your pricing, please stop wasting your time. There's so many things that you have to do in a business, so many hats that you have to wear, and this is a tool that can save you so much time when you do have those increases. But also something else too, like we knew this. I too was on that when I first started. We operated on that for like the first 6 to 12 months of me being in this position. I don't know where the pricing on that spreadsheet came from. Like we had a cute little formula in there that said, all right, we got to raise our prices 5%. Boom. This software allows us to, yes, we have the equipment portion of it. Then we've got the labor piece of it too, and the install kit, which tells us how many hours on that certain type of install, and whatever other materials that are tied to that type of install. And so it's so much more precise, and we've been able to dial in into each of our different packages. We actually just went through an exercise last year. We went and revisited our most common packages and dialed it in even more so that they were more precise pricing. So it's better pricing for our homeowners, and then also as a business for us, we're being responsible with the packages that we're selling. We know that this is what it takes to install a 310 heat pump and air handler. So that's huge. Please, if for me, as being a leader in the business, that has been such a lift for our business. What about
Yeah, and I think in the field, obviously the professionalism of it. Like I said, it looks very professional. People do love seeing the picture of the unit they're going to get. The model numbers are there, so you're no longer the company just showing a name or a 2-ton AC. The options are there. It's going to saves the consultant a lot of time. I mean, it's much more about, I'm here to get the job done, hopefully close it today because I can do all this real quickly, and the client's not there looking at me like I'm a weirdo sitting at their table. And then the back end side, like I said, there's been a lot less headaches with jobs missing a humidifier or something that we've committed to that doesn't show up. That's handled now with the work orders. We're not missing different rebates. We're not cutting checks. And then I think we looked at it, margin went up too, right? I mean, we did have a margin increase because we're better accounting all that stuff.
Yeah, our margins lifted I would say 5% at
That's
least.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. But again, because we were able to dial in, and you can control it too. So,
Right.
I mean, I could go in right now and bump it up or bump it down if I
Right.
needed to, if we had different business goals
Just a
to achieve.
little more control there.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Interesting that not necessarily on the closing rate side, but on, hey, we're making more money because we've got higher margins.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Interesting. Um, awesome. I want to just kind of cap it here with some rapid fire questions, and then we'll get to the Q&A, and I'll let y'all go. But Jim, want to start with you. Again, rapid fire. One word to describe Pricebook Plus.
Oh, you said Jen. I thought you said Jim.
Jen, sorry.
Oh, one word to describe Pricebook Plus. Easy. Just it's
Easy.
much easier to sell when you use Pricebook Plus.
Awesome. Awesome. Your Jen, your biggest surprise after implementing Pricebook Plus.
The closing rate and the ease of use. Like once you get the flow of it, you can do it like with your eyes closed. It's super easy.
Yeah. The biggest improvement in your sales process.
How fast I can shoot out an estimate. It takes you 15 minutes and you have an estimate ready to go and properly priced.
Awesome. Yeah. And then lastly, what would happen if you turned it off tomorrow?
I'd have to learn Service Titan. I'm kidding. Yeah, I would probably not be able to sell because I don't know how to do the math. So I would, yeah, have a really hard time. But don't raise your prices on me, okay?
Right. Got it. Got it. Thanks, Jen. And then Lindsay and Joey, I'll both give you an opportunity here. One word to describe Pricebook Plus.
Oh, efficiency.
Efficiency.
Professional.
Professional. Awesome. Awesome. Um, feature you use daily, but Joey.
System selector, I use it like crazy.
Slacker. Yeah. Yeah. Being able to change matchups. Yep. Absolutely. Lindsay, your biggest improvement in your sales process.
So, well, this is probably a better Joey question, but I'm
Okay.
gonna answer it from a leader's perspective. I don't know how other contractors are operating with Pricebook and their packages, but we have built them out to the way that we want them to be. So, for instance, I don't know, we're kicking around the idea of throwing in smoke detectors on every single job that we want to. And if Joey doesn't like it and he wants to kill it, cool.
Yeah.
But if we have a business initiative to sell more smoke detectors, we think it's a value to a homeowner, and we want them to talk about it. Well, it's kind of forcing the hand of Joey and the other comfort consultants in the field
Right.
because it's built into the option.
Yep.
No matter what, we have it added to every single package that we sell.
Yeah.
So that's just one example. We did do that with so every variable speed that we sell got a surge protector on it. So it's like a business practice now.
And yeah,
Right.
nobody cans that either. Like it's there. Like
Before it would just been an option that the team member would have to think about while they were, selling and add it, type it in, whatever.
yeah.
Right. All about increasing your average ticket. Right. Yeah. Yep.
Mhm.
And then lastly for you, Lindsay, what would happen if it turned off tomorrow?
I would be on the phone with several people at your company screaming. Me and several people here.
I have to find another.
I don't know what we would. I don't know what
Makes
we
it too
would
easy.
do. Yeah, we've become very dependent on it. We could not go back.
Yeah. Yeah.
We could not go back to paper. I guess we'd have to do service titan too, which I don't want to do. It's very wordy, no pictures,
Yeah.
not customer friendly.
Yeah.
Well, we're not going anywhere. That's the good news. Awesome. Again, really appreciate y'all being on. I would want to take a few more minutes for any Q&A, Summer, that came through. Might randomly toss some of these over to our panelists, but Summer, any questions that are coming through?
Yep. From Arturo, will you be able to connect with Ferguson as they are my supplier?
Ferguson is one of our biggest customers, and yes, we can connect with them. And again, keep in mind that even if we don't connect with your distributor, we will still update your pricing. So just so y'all know, when we connect with the distributor, that's really for updating your equipment costs. And again, we do that for Ferguson. There's one small market that we don't do that for Ferguson in like Tennessee and Alabama, call it the Mid-South, but across the country, everywhere else, we do the catalogs for Ferguson. So if you've seen those catalogs, that's our product. And we do connect pricing to your sales tool.
The next is from Christopher. Does this software allow for light commercial 5 to 25 ton?
Great question. Not directly. We are really structured for residential changeouts. We do have a handful of customers that offer light commercial. There's a way to build a custom proposal. It's not pretty. It doesn't have pictures in it. There is a way to quote it. You would essentially just build it out as a service. So, it's optional, but we don't recommend it. It's really built for residential.
Okay. From Gary, what are the top objections you find most common? How do you overcome them? That might be for our panelists.
Yeah, why don't we
Objections
toss that to panelists? I'm guessing that's kind of more sales related. Joey, can you talk to that?
Top objections just in a regular day.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe
Okay.
well, the top objection I hear from you all is a one-legger.
One-legger, yeah. That's you just got to try to get the husband or wife on the phone. That's your biggest shot there.
How has Pricebook helped that though?
I think the nice thing with Pricebook let's just say a one-legger. Yeah. So there's been multiple times, you're there with, say, the wife. And if you can get the husband involved, I've had many a times where we email that to him and we have him on the phone and I'm going through it with the wife while he's looking at it at work. And we've had instances where you get it closed. It's not a perfect scenario, but I mean, it does allow you to do that. It shoots the email real quick and he's looking at everything you're looking at and, he can fire off questions to you too. So, it does help there.
Easy to get multiple eyes on it very, very easily. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yep.
Good point. Jen, same question to you. How does let's put it this way. How does this help you overcome objections?
Gosh. Well, if it's price-based, I usually go through like the quality of the equipment, but I mean, I don't really know how it helps me overcome objections. Actually, I'm drawing a blank on that. I do get objections. They're mostly, price-based, and then that's when I kind of go into financing. But if what I'm offering them is too much for them, then I don't lower my prices because I know what I'm worth and what I want to make, So,
Sure.
I don't know. I can't figure that out, honestly.
You talked earlier about how it's helped you educate the homeowner. Did you see, before that there was more questions around the equipment or?
Yeah, and a lot of times when I go to customers' houses and they show me their proposals, I'll see like one that says 14 SEER, $7,000 or heat pump, and that's it. And there's I'm like, well, what brand is this? And they're like, I don't know. I'm like, okay, well, is this, a variable speed air handler? I don't know, So it
Right.
kind of helps me teach customers that there's options out there and that they're just
Sure.
kind of being forced something. It's probably a 14 SEER Goodman with an ASPF, air handler. That's the cheapest system out there. And they're charging them way too much for it. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think because I show them everything, they know
Sure.
that they can trust me.
You got the transparency. Yeah,
Mhm.
for sure.
The price objection, one thing that I've done on that is, maybe I'm showing them 2 or 3 options in that mid to high end tier, right? And, that's what they're telling me they maybe have wanted, but, all of a sudden, hey, that's not going to work in my budget.
Right.
I've got 2 or 3 options still in the cheaper equipment that I can toggle back on and say, hey, look, we're not where you want to be, but I do have things down and around that. So it allows me to transfer over real quickly. I've done that as well, but just turning on some extra options that I didn't originally show.
Yep. Kind of helps you manage that reality check for them a little bit.
Yeah, we can give up some stuff and get where you want to be, but it's not going to be on that equipment.
Right. Absolutely. Awesome. Summer, what else?
Well, I know that we are at time, but we have a few more questions, so we're going to kind of hang on there for a little bit. What was the setup like and how quickly were you up and running? And that is from Scott.
Jen, you want to take this one?
Setup is so easy. Like you just basically have a class with the person. The price books are sent to Pricebook, and then they set up a time to do a Zoom call with you, and then they run you through the training. They run you through all your settings. They kind of teach you, about what your margins are and what they should be, what to include in your install kit. Like, it's kind of a no-brainer. They do it kind of for you. You know what your pricing is as far as your materials are concerned and your labor, and then they put it into the formula, and then you're good to go. It's probably I want to say like what, it depends on when they get your price book. It takes maybe a day to upload it. They're really responsive, and then you just set the call, and then you got to practice. That's it.
Right. And that was, again, a couple years ago when you were coming on. We've really done a lot to refine that process. We've built a lot of proprietary tools for building price books. Generally speaking, 2 to 4 week process to get somebody on board from signing up until their sales reps are going live with it. We start by building the price book out with you and doing what we call admin training, which is really like setting up your retail pricing and your templates in the system and so forth. And then we'll circle back and do training with sales reps, right? So like for Jen, a little smaller team, she's got a handful of sales reps that she works with. That might be one training, might be 2 trainings. For a bigger group, like with Lindsay, Lindsay, how many sales reps do y'all have across the organization?
We have 30.
30, right? So we'll handle that potentially in multiple sessions, right? If you bring new reps on board, we're always happy to do training with them down the line. Summer, what else?
Josh is asking about the ServiceTitan integration. His question is, are proposals that are not closed at the time of the in-home visit transferred into ServiceTitan for future follow-up? And if not, how does PricebookPlus follow-up process look like?
Yeah, great question. Not today. Today, on that ServiceTitan integration, only sold jobs are going back over to ServiceTitan. We are working on functionality to push unsold proposals over to ServiceTitan, but right now they still just live in Pricebook until the job is sold.
Danny, did you want to speak to the follow-up process in PricebookPlus for those jobs?
Yeah, we don't have any. Actually, there's some new functionality that we're kind of working on for automated follow-up. Generally speaking, what I tell folks is like, look, this is your proposal tool, right? You've got an FSM that is really your, in my world, tech sales, it's CRMs, but that's your tool for managing customer relationships and follow up, and typically it's done through that. But we are actually working on new functionality coming out here in the next couple months for automated follow-ups directly from Pricebook.
Can I speak to that real quick? Because I use
Please.
ServiceTitan, and I noticed that it doesn't do the automatic follow-up because I have Marketing Pro. And Marketing Pro set up that if I don't close an estimate, we touch them with an email and then a text message. If you create just a generic estimate off of your call in ServiceTitan and just put 3-ton heat pump, it'll generate that automatic follow-up from Marketing Pro. Just got to create a generic estimate, and then that way they'll get touched as your Marketing Pro would ask them to do.
Awesome. Yeah. Do y'all handle that a certain way, Joey?
We do the same thing. So we'll go in, do a generic estimate, put in some lingo of a lot of times we'll just put quoted through PricebookPlus, and then you'll kind of explain what we did on the job or what was going on with the job. But yeah, same thing. It puts it right in the follow-up bin on ServiceTitan. You can go right to it.
And we disconnected because if we disconnected the link that it would take to the ServiceTitan estimate, so they wouldn't see it, because we didn't want to create confusion. Jen,
Sure.
Jen, I don't know if you did that or not. We didn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did hear or PJ told me they were working on that. I was like, please. I would love for them to be able to send it from PB Plus so that the homeowner could click on that link and go to that estimate.
For sure. Yeah. Working on it. Absolutely. Summer, anything else?
Another question from Josh. Since our contractor's cost of equipment is linked directly from our local distributor, is the inventory also visible?
Good question.
Will we
No,
know if
it's
we're offering a
not.
system option? Okay.
Yeah, we don't offer inventory links. Again, kind of some things that we're working on. We're distributors use inventory systems called ERP systems, and we've actually started integrating with those for kind of real-time price updates for distributors. Kind of makes their process easier. Kind of the next level of that we've already started working on is showing inventory. So we're hoping to kind of dig deeper into that in the next couple of years.
Okay. We have one more. Are you able to see when a customer has viewed a proposal?
You are in Pricebook, and again, like right now, it's kind of a unsexy feature. We're working on making that kind of easier from like Joey's end to see that directly. More functionality that we know that our competitors have that we're working on. Yeah.
And we also, I'm sorry, have one last one from Brent. It's nice to see you, Lindsay. Been a little bit since the old Kentucky, Tennessee days.
Very good. That's all for today, guys. I want to do one last thing, which is share a QR code with you. Let me reshare my screen here. I'm not sharing the right screen. Let me reshare the right screen. Here we go. So what happens when you have three screens? You can use that QR code to sign up for a demo if you are interested, or if you're a territory manager, you've got a dealer that's interested, you can sign up there. Our email address here at the bottom, we are offering $250 off right now if you sign up for a demo and are interested in moving forward. Other than that, please let us know. Again, if we can help you guys at all, you can reach us right here, sales@pricebook.digital, or go to our website, pricebook.digital. Thank you very much to our panelists today. Jen, really appreciate you hopping on here. And Lindsay, you as well. Joey, thank you for hopping in. Great conversation. Appreciate it, everyone. And that's all we got. All right. Take care, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
You got it. Bye-bye.